Alright guys, what's up? In this one I'm going over Trump's Final Form Mage. This is a upgrade over his free-to-play that he plans on using in his tournaments. It's basically the free-to-play Mage with a few legendaries added into it. Playing a Paladin, early creatures aren't that important. I'm actually going to keep the Water Elemental. So that's got a nice curve to the opening hand. Very happy with that.
I smell blood.
And that has little to no effect on me at all. The Infiltrator is really good against like a Fairy Dragon or anything 3-2 like a Knife Juggler. Alright, well I can clear his board with Arcane Explosion. That's called value. Alright. That's a value play if I've ever seen one on turn 2. Just kind of walked into that. So it looks like he actually might be an aggro Paladin. So he's drawing 2 cards. Interesting move. Alright. No real decision here. Golem on turn 3 is always good. Now when I drop Water Elemental, he won't have a good removal. Killing the Golem doesn't take any damage off the board, and hitting the Water Elemental doesn't kill it, so interesting decision for him. He's going against the Elemental, which means he might have Consecration. Oh, he's not, he went to face. Wow, that's an interesting decision. He's very aggro.
Not on my watch.
God, he's so aggro. I need to clear the board now that I see how aggro he is. Alright. I'm gonna freeze him in case he has the second True Silver. Set him back a turn. Good news is, as long as the Water Elemental stays on the board and there's not a taunt creature, I can keep him frozen.
Wait and fish all day.
Which is going to be the plan. Alright. So this, Azure Drake is probably the better card, but Yeti is a way more efficient use of my mana, as I've got 1 more health, and on the off chance True Silver stays up there, it doesn't die to it, and I get to use my ability as well. I'm going to try and knock Pago down. I don't want to use any minions on it. Next turn, I will be able to Azure Drake, Harvest Golem, and Hero Power. He's going to take out the Water Elemental. Unless he's the most aggro player I've ever met. Yep, it's the right move. Alright, so I've got... Oh, I've got lethal. So that was actually a pretty quick game. I didn't really get to show off any of the legendaries in it. That deck was, I showed, was absolutely no different than the free-to-play. So I'm going to go through the deck, as I don't think that was a very good example of what it can do. Paladin's a very good matchup for it, I will say that. Alright. So the legendaries that I'm running are Cairne, Sylvanas, and Natpiggle. I believe he also runs a Ragnaros, which, in my experience, games don't tend to last that long with this deck, and with all the aggro, I just removed it. I have Arcane Explosion, he has Arcane Missiles. I do this because, actually in that game, there's a really good example of why I do it. When you're playing against a lot of aggro, and that's probably the best time to use it, it's a 2-mana consecration if you have an Azure Drake, and at worst it stops an early attack. I think it's infinitely better than Arcane Missiles. Obviously, I don't claim to be as good as Trump, but I legitimately think it's the right move. Everyone has their opinions, and I respect his. He used to run Arcane Explosion, and when he switched to Arcane Missiles, I kind of went my own direction on it. But other than that, it pretty much runs the same cards. I believe he used to run in Argent 2 Argent Commanders, and that's what I used to replace the legendaries. But um, you could play it again without it. The free-to-play Mage is still an effective deck. These legendaries, like I said, Argent Commander is the only real replacement. You could replace it for 1 Leroy and 1 Argent Commander if you want, but these 2 cards are 2 of the most frustrating legendaries to deal with. Cairne, when you throw it down, it doesn't seem very intimidating, but considering you have to kill it twice, it's like 2 Yeti for 6 instead of 4. And Sylvanas is basically a creature everyone just tries to kill everything on their board before it dies. So it's it's more like a 10-10 than a 5-5. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked this video of Trump's Final Form Mage. Subscribe if you want to see more reviews. I'll be doing more shortly.